of 2023. And a meeting here on Stream 1 between Josh Rock and Dave Chisnall. Mouth-watering matchup. Some of the games at this stage already underway. Simon Whitlock, a finalist last Sunday, is 2-0 up on Stephen Bunting.
99.
Martin Schindler 2-1 up on Christoph Kachuk. And Ryan Searle, a winner last weekend. A 4-3 lead for him against Jeffrey Sparidans.
40.
Raymond van Barneveld about to play Joe Cullen over on the other streaming board with Glenn Durrant and Dan Dawson. It's Dirk van Dijvenbode versus Johnny Clayton. But here with me, Chris Murphy, it's Rock Chisnall
140
for a place in the quarter-finals. And the right to take on either Kachuk or
77.
Schindler at that stage. Rock winning the ball and throwing first.
81.
In this match, having already worked his way past Nick Kenny.
137.
6-3. Tony Martinez 6-1. Robbie Knops 6-3.
64.
As for Chizzy, well, he began his run to this stage with a 6-4 win against Kevin Burness, in which he averaged 103 and change.
5.
He then beat Jules Van Dongen 6-4 and beat Ryan Meikle with 104 average and a 6-3 margin in the previous round. Double top though for Rock to take the first leg, and that's exactly what he does with a nice, neat 117 checkout.
$100. 100. 180.
Been waiting for one of those. You'd expect plenty of them in this match.
57.
A match that is being played for the 6th time in the space of 12 months. Dave Chisnall
64.
winning 3 of their previous 5 meetings, including a final here in Barnsley towards the back end of last year, and a quarter-final after that. Rock won the first 2 meetings, Chisnall's won the last 3.
99.
And he will come back looking at 18 and tops to level up the match.
81. 48.
Well, could he damage Chisnall's chances there? Good leave, and Chizzy can't afford any more mistakes here.
Game shot.
And he doesn't make any more. That maximum at the start of the leg for Chizzy is 10th of the day.
180.
And that is Josh Rock's 8th.
$60.
He has the second highest average of any player still in the tournament for today's play. Dave Chisnall. Ryan Searle, the only man who is producing bigger numbers and is still going, and Searle is indeed the first man through to the quarter-finals. 103 average for him. You can see his quarter-final on Stream 2 against either Keane Barry or Mike Kyvenhoven. But Rock now producing an excellent leg of darts. 41 after 9. And it's double 16 for an 11 darter. 12 will do.
Game shot.
And it would have taken a perfect leg from Chizzy to beat that.
$100. $140.
So great standard so far from Josh Rock. That 140 really is taking the game to Dave Chisnall here. Averaging in 3 figures after 3 legs.
58. $100.
May think about coming downstairs here. Can go back up now and try and locate a couple of trebles, but Chisnall
57.
still in command in the leg after a hat-trick of tons.
177.
And that is absolutely superb. Setting up.
$100.
177 to go with the
Game shot.
10 180s he's had today. And double 12, no trouble at all for Chizzy.
$31.
You do wonder when you see all the majors being spread out now between players whether Dave Chisnall will get his day. Oh, wow. Well, that's not his moment, is it? Look at that. 57 scored, another 57 scored, and then the lot on the floor.
58.
Dave Chisnall there with 114.
$100.
Winner of so many of these titles, 14 Players' Championships for Dave Chisnall, a Euro Tour as well last year to go with his victory here in Barnsley. 3 of those, but still no big major having come close in so many of the events.
177.
Beaten finalist at the Grand Slam of Darts. Beaten finalist at the Masters
140.
on more than one occasion. Of course, the BDO World Championship, the first big one back in 2010.
100.
World Grand Prix. Will 2023 be the year that Dave Chisnall
60.
gets his big moment of glory? Well, he's already lost more points on the floor than he needs to win this leg. Great dart, great recovery. And he has a great mentality, Dave Chisnall, and he's shown it in that leg, because many players would have felt that the world was against them after that opening visit. But Chizzy just hit back, recording 3-figure visits in every single one since, and he breaks the throw to take control of the tie.
100. $140.
Now it's time for Rock to respond.
$100. $86.
Well, he has been
180.
absolutely brilliant, Dave Chisnall, in this game. Second 180.
121.
bullseye
Yeah, 50 left.
for a dozen darter.
96.
And it would have been, apart from hitting the double a couple of legs ago, it had been a dozen consecutive three-figure visits for Dave Chisnall.
134.
Apart from that double 12 and the 114 points on the floor. His darts have been on point. Delivered to the trebles, no trouble. Delivered to the doubles, no trouble. And it's 4-2 to the Morecambe man, who is averaging north of 100.
140.
Josh Rock joining him in that department. Really good game of darts. Every single time he's hitting 1, 2 or 3 trebles, Dave Chisnall. And closing in on a very, very decent win. Ryan Searle already through to the quarterfinals. As I mentioned, other players are getting closer to being there. Simon Whitlock, what a turnaround for him at the start of this year. Averaging 102 and 5-2 up against Stephen Bunting. Jim Williams 4-2 up on Dimitri van den Berg. Joe Cullen 4-2 up on Raymond van Barneveld, and Dirk van Dijvenbode 4-3 up on Johnny Clayton in what seems like a belter of a battle, with both players averaging more than 106. Josh Rock still in the fight, and he wants double 8 to close the gap to a single leg. He'll return, needing the remainder, with Chisnall for once way back.
58. Six.
Well, it's 4 missed opportunities at double for Josh Rock, and now Dave Chisnall is sizing up the 164. 57. Well, he's missed it. Part of me surprised he went that way after suffering that
98.
unfortunate fallout earlier on.
No score.
But he'll come back for 66, and now Josh Rock, well, he's the architect of his own downfall in this leg, and it could be the beginning of the end of this match. It'll be one dart at double top.
26.
Close, but not close enough, and Josh Rock gets another chance. Cannot afford to miss any more opportunities. One up, one in, and one leg between the pair of them. Dave Chisnall, as he always does, sees the bright side.
85. $42. $78.
A little bit of a scrappy spell this game. Both players were almost flawless in the first half of the match, but that little bit of a mess on doubles from Josh Rock the last leg. Slow on the scoring for Dave Chisnall, a bit of an average buster. Both dropped from the 3 figures to
104.
the mid-90s. Can confirm the second quarter-finalist now, Joe Cullen has beaten Raymond van Barneveld 6-2, and Dirk van Dijvenbode is the third.
140.
108 average for DVD, who progresses to the last 8 at the expense of Johnny Clayton. And he will play either
58.
Simon Whitlock or Stephen Bunting, who's coming back in that game. It's 5-4 now to the Wizard.
65.
Cullen will meet Jim Williams or Dimitri van den Berg. And Krzysztof Kachuk's run continues. We said earlier, when he starts to get going, He's certainly one to watch, and he's beaten Martin Schindler, and therefore will take on the winner of this match in the quarterfinals. It has for a while looked likely that that victor will be this man, donned in his trademark yellow shirt.
Game shot.
And it is one more leg required for Chizzy to set up that meeting with Tkachuk.
58.
Quarterfinal action that follows this here on stream 1 will feature Joe Cullen taking on Jim Williams, who's just got the better of Vandenberg. A 6-3 success for Williams. Both players winners of titles last year.
90.
Cullen, who won Players' Championships 3 and 4. 2022, Jim Williams won event number 6 here in Barnsley almost a year ago. They're going to do battle next.
133.
Stay tuned for that. But this game might have a little bit more life in it yet, as Josh Rock starts his bid to turn 170 into 0.
134.
And he's gone a long way into doing that.
$96.
Double 18. Double 9.
Game shot.
Perfectly pitched. Won't be phased though, Dave Chisnall, a man who likes to just play his own game, always focused on what he's doing.
134.
Can Rock rally?
60.
Well, that spells trouble. No treble. And that's a perfect dart for Dave Chisnall.
100.
Only a ton. And he offers a small amount of optimism to Josh Rock, but he really needs to fill it up himself to be back in business in this leg.
100. $80. 100.
But he does leave a finish. It would be some way to win the match, but he's not going to have to take it out in 3 darts.
140.
Just going to set it up.
95.
And all Rock can do now is try and pile on some kind of pressure.
134.
Choices here, maybe treble 12 for Dave Chisnall. That's what he does. 36 to leave, 36.
Game shot
And Dave Chisnall progresses through to the quarterfinals here at Players' Championship 4. Rock's run is ended by Dave Chisnall, who will fancy his chances. A quarterfinal meeting awaits with Krzysztof Tkachuk. The first half of the game, both players were really producing their top level, but Chisnall just held firm, controlled the match towards the end. Mid-90s average for the pair of them at the end, but Dave Chisnall, the winner. He's through to the last 8, and we'll be back with last 8 action in a few moments' time as Jim Williams takes on Joe Cullen. Don't go anywhere.